Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 25th of December 2023. In today's newspaper analysis, we are going to cover a mapping topic that's going to help you to solve mapping related questions in the prelims exam. And apart from this, we are going to cover all important topics from the newspaper. Today there were articles from Environment and Ecology section, there were articles from Indian Economy section, there were articles from International Relations, Indian Polity and Science and Technology areas. So let us see the list of articles that we are going to discuss in today's newspaper. So these are the list of articles that we are going to discuss, right? Along with the articles, we have also mentioned the relevance from the syllabus, like which section of the syllabus these articles are relevant to. We have mentioned that. And so with this, let us first discuss the first topic, which is a mapping topic. So name of the topic is Places in News, Red Sea. Although we have covered Red Sea in the past as well, but like since it is in news again, so it is important that we discuss Red Sea once again so that like you get some familiarity with the topic, you do some revision, right? So Red Sea region is in news. Why? Because in Red Sea, all the maritime ships, all the cargo ships that are passing by, these are being attacked, and these are being attacked by Houthis. Houthis are a kind of group of rebels, right? And Houthis are located in Yemen. So this is the location of Yemen. So from Yemen, all the seas that are passing through the Red Sea, they are under attack. They're under siege and attack, right? So that's why global community, especially those countries who are involved in maritime business, that includes India, United States of America and other Gulf countries. So they are concerned about, let's say, the attack that are happening in Red Sea. So in that perspective, we need to understand which countries share their maritime border with Red Sea, okay? If you have that understanding, you will be able to solve questions in the prelims exam. So as we can see, to the right of Red Sea, we have Arabian Peninsula. To the left of Red Sea, we have the African countries. And these African countries are also known as Horn of Africa. So let us discuss about those countries that are to the right of Red Sea. So to the right of Red Sea, we have one country which is Yemen. Second country is Saudi Arabia. Okay, these are two important countries. They directly share maritime border with Red Sea. And if we talk about to the left of it, right, to the left of it, we have a country, let's say Egypt. It shares its border with Red Sea. We have Sudan. It shares its border with Red Sea. We have Eritrea. It also shares its border with Red Sea. Apart from this, let's say we have a very small country which is Djibouti, right? So Djibouti is, let's say, shares its border with Gulf of Aden and Strait of Bab el Mandeb. So if in case in question it comes, you can mention that as well. But primarily these are the 5 countries that shares its maritime border with Red Sea. These are the 5 countries that you should remember the name of. But apart from these locations, there are some important smaller locations. So we are going to understand about those locations also, okay? So the thing is, this peninsula that we can see over here, this peninsula is known as Sinai Peninsula, okay? It is known as Sinai Peninsula. So let me just draw the map of this Sinai Peninsula so that you understand, okay? So this is how the Sinai Peninsula looks like, right? And to the right of Sinai Peninsula over here, and to the left over here, let's say over here we have Gulf. This is known as Gulf of Aqaba, A-Q-A-B-A, Gulf of Aqaba. To the left of it, we have Gulf of Suez, S-U-E-Z, okay, Gulf of Suez. And this peninsula is known as Sinai Peninsula, okay, Sinai Peninsula. And this Sinai Peninsula is a territory of Egypt, okay. This Sinai Peninsula belongs to which country? It belongs to Egypt. This is important, right? So this is the thing. And if we talk about the Red Sea, over here Red Sea extends to a long distance like this, okay, it extends to a long distance like this, and somewhere over here, right, starts there is a region, and this particular region is a kind of a small passage. This is known as Strait of Bab el Mandeb, okay, or we can say Bab el Mandeb Strait, okay, this is a Strait of Bab el Mandeb. What are straits? As we already discussed, a strait is a, let's say, narrow channel of water that connects to big water bodies, and it also separates two land masses. So this channel of water, this is known as Red Sea. As we know, this is Red Sea, and this is Gulf of Aden. Gulf of Aden. So these are some of the regions, and as we discussed earlier, here we have some of the countries, right? What are name of these countries? Let me write down name. Here we have Yemen, we have Saudi Arabia, here we have Egypt, here we have Sudan, we have Eritrea, we have Djibouti, like that. So this is, let's say, overall map of Red Sea. Okay, this is map of Red Sea. So all you need to do is you need to learn about the mapping related thing of Red Sea. Okay, you need to learn about map of Red Sea. That will be very important for your preparation. Why? Because it is likely that UPSC may ask a question from this area. So let us discuss, like, we have discussed about it, and let us discuss some minute regions also to Red Sea. As we discussed that this is Sinai Peninsula and this is Gulf of Aqaba. So to the right of Sinai Peninsula, to the top of Gulf of Aqaba, we have a country Jordan. Over here we have Israel as well. Okay, we have Israel, Jordan and all. And why Houthi people from Yemen, why they are attacking on ships? Because they want to put pressure on Israel so that Israel goes for ceasefire. As of now, Israel is attacking on, let's say, like, Gaza Strip, on Palestinian people. So in solidarity with the Palestinian people, like people from Yemen, or like, they are Houthi rebels, they are actually attacking on, let's say, ships that are passing through this strait of Bab el-Mandeb, or that are passing through the Red Sea region. So this is an article that came in the front page in today's newspaper. We are going to discuss about this article in detail, because in this article they have mentioned about many important points. Okay, so the thing is, recently what has happened, one ship that was passing through this region, that ship was under attack, and name of the ship is maritime vessel MV Camp Pluto. Okay, so let me let's say, like, mention over here the news related to this. Okay, I'm just mentioning the news related to this. So what is in news? So we are going to discuss. Number one, the maritime vessel that was attacked, right? The maritime vessel, in short, they are also known as MV. Okay, its name is Camp Pluto. Okay, its name is Camp Pluto. So this maritime vessel was carrying Indian people. Okay, they were carrying Indians on board, and this was a kind of tanker. It was coming from that region to India, right? It was on its journey towards India. So it was attacked, and so that's why Indian Coast Guard have given them security. So they have, let's say, like, like escorted them to India. Apart from this, in this article, basically they have mentioned about name of an operation. That operation is very important. So it is, let's say, this operation is being conducted by United States of America. They have initiated this operation, and so this operation is known as Operation Prosperity Guardian. Okay, it is known as Operation Prosperity Guardian. Okay, so why Operation Prosperity Guardian was started? Because, let's say, many ships, even US ships, were being targeted from this region. Okay, so Operation Prosperity Guardian is a kind of safety and security operation, so that they can secure those ships that are passing through this region. So it is This particular initiative was started by USA, but USA is not only not the only country that is part of this thing. So it is an international outreach which is, let's say, headed by USA. There are many countries who have been invited to participate over here so that they can together make sure that these regions are properly protected. The Red Sea region is properly protected, and so ships that are passing through it, they should not be attacked. So good morning. Thank you so much, Rukhsar Khan, for joining. So this was the first topic that we had discussed. And apart from this, let us quickly move to another article. It says India's job crisis, the macroeconomic reasons. Okay. This article is very, very important. It is important from Indian economy point of view, right? So I'm going to write down name of this topic. This is topic number 2. It says India's job crisis. India's job crisis. I'm going to discuss, I'm going to write also about it. The macroeconomic reasons. The macroeconomic reasons. So why this article is important? Because this article is relevant to Indian economy, right? So whenever you are preparing for Indian economy, right, which is a part of GS paper 3, you need to read about macroeconomics. And this article talks about India's job crisis, the macroeconomic reasons. This article gives you the reasons why we have job crisis. So to understand this particular thing, we need to understand that Indian economy is divided into multiple sectors. So one of the sector is considered to be formal sector, other is informal sector. Informal sector also, let's say, like, many jobs, mostly jobs are of the government, right? And also of private jobs, they are formalized. But in informal jobs, huge number of people are employed in India. And these huge number of people who are employed in informal job, they are not protected. They do not get any social security. They do not have any job security. Many of them are daily wage laborers. So these people are insecure about their job security. They are insecure about their, let's say, like, continuity of their job, and they do not get a predefined wage, right? So the thing is, in India, related to employment, there are multiple challenges, right? Challenges related to the, remuneration that people get, challenges related to social security, challenges related to their job continuity or job security. So what are the reasons, right, of unemployment in India? So to understand about employment and unemployment situations, so here in India, they release periodic labor force survey. Okay, this is known as PLFS. PLFS stands for periodic labor force survey. So what do we mean by periodic labor force survey? Basically, through this survey, the government of India comes up with the data who are part of labor force, and those people who are part of labor force, are they employed or they are not employed. So the thing is, it considers primarily two different criteria, two different things, right? One are those people who are part of labor force, and those people who are not part of labor force. Okay, not part of labor force. So who are part of labor force? Any person who has attained the age of employability, means like generally people above the age of 18 years are considered to be part of labor force. But also it is important that those people are willing to do job. Those people who are capable of doing job, sound minded, sound bodied, and willing to do job, they are considered to be part of labor force. But all those people who are willing to do job, they do not have job. They may be in active search of job. So those people who are part of labor force, who are actively looking for job, but they do not have a job, they will be considered as unemployed. But those people who are, let's say, part of labor force and they are employed, right? So they will be considered as employed people. So related to employment and unemployment, right? So under labor force condition also, employed people, right, and unemployed people are identified differently. Unemployed people means who are actively looking for job. They are willing to do job. They are capable of doing job, but they are not finding the job. So they will be part of unemployed. Okay, they will be part of unemployed. So now unemployment level in India has gone exponentially high. Why? It has multiple reasons. Why? It has multiple reasons. So let us understand about why there is unemployment in India. Let us understand about reasons of unemployment. Reasons. Number one, reasons of unemployment. There are many reasons. Number one is skill gap. Means there may be jobs in certain sectors, but like since people do not possess the qualities, the eligibility, the let's say the skill set to do those jobs, so these people will not be given those jobs. So skill gap is one of the reason. Apart from skill gap reason, there are other reasons also. Means like people who have been earlier doing job, but they have left their job, maybe because of frictional reasons, maybe because that person wants to get a better job, but in search of better job he has already left his job, right? So that's also a reason. Means like this is, let's say, employee centric reasons. I'm just writing, these are not the official words that are used. Employee centric reasons means this resistance to friction in the existing thing leads to leaving the job, and after they leave the job they are in search for other jobs. So that is kind of, let's say, seasonal unemployment. It's kind of frictional unemployment simply. So this is another reason. Apart from this, that the economy does not have good number of jobs to provide jobs to those people. Okay, so there can be structural reasons in the economy. Okay, structural reasons can be there in the economy. Okay, there can be structural reasons. Apart from this, there can be many such reasons, but in this article what the author says, in this article author points to very important, let's say, thing, that in India, when we talk about Indian economy, right, when we talk about Indian economy, in India what is happening? The Indian economy is growing. Indian economy is growing. We all know the Indian economy is growing fastest among the biggest economies, among the big economies. But let's say India's GDP growth is happening, right? India's GDP growth is happening. Apart from this, India is the 5th largest economy in the world. That's also, let's say, these are some positive things associated with Indian economy. It is the 5th largest economy in the world. That's another thing. But India has a high population. We have 140 plus billion, right? We have 140 crore people. We have more than 140 crore people in India. So these many people, not all of them are, let's say, employable, not all of them are part of labor force. Many of them are children, many of them are women, but those people who are part of labor force, many of them are not getting job. Okay, that's the problem. So here the author talks about the twin problems. On one side, India has a high ratio of those people who are unemployed. On the other side, there is a skill gap. And then since Indian economy is growing, so it is not a kind of inclusive growth. So author focuses on inclusive growth. Author says that in India there should be inclusive growth, so that all sectors of Indian economy can grow simultaneously. So the thing is, when we talk about scale of economies or economies of scale, means if there is a business, if it is growing, so what it does, it keeps on producing more efficient goods, right? So that are, let's say, marketable, that are being sold at a competitive price, and during the production of these goods they are employing people as well. But the thing is, the growth is not happening in desired fashion in all sectors of the economy. So the thing is, those sectors of the economy where growth is stagnant, where growth has gone down, Government of India need to focus on those sectors also. So author says the employment challenge can no longer be met only through more rapid GDP growth. Means only GDP growth will not be able to address the problem of employment. What we need to do? Author says a separate policy focus is needed on employment. Okay, so we need to have a separate policy focus. So author says we need to have a separate policy focus, right? We should have a separate policy focus on employment. We need to have a separate policy focus on employment. This is the thing. Okay, so with this, let us now quickly move to another article. This article is again good. This article says the evolving role of Colombo Security Conclave. Okay, the evolving role of Colombo Security Conclave. So this is a topic from international relations. We are going to discuss about the grouping which is known as Colombo Security Conclave. We are going to understand about the recent dynamics related to this particular grouping, and we are going to understand what is India's role in the Colombo Security Conclave. So name of the topic is the evolving role of the Colombo Security Conclave. So what is the context of this topic? Basically, let us understand about the context. Why we are talking about Colombo Security Conclave at this point of time? Because recently in December, right? In December 2023, there was NSA level meeting, National Security Advisor level meeting of the Colombo Security Conclave. I'm just writing this, Colombo Security Conclave, okay, in short. So that's why it came. So when we talk about Colombo Security Conclave, right, when we talk about what? Colombo Security Conclave. So who are the member countries of this grouping? So it has many member countries, it has dialogue partners also, okay? It has member countries. So who are the member countries of this grouping? We are going to discuss about it. Number 1, India is a member. Number 2, Sri Lanka is a member. Number 3, right, Maldives is a member. Number 4, it has 4th member also, that is mentioned here, Mauritius, okay, which is Mauritius is also a member. So these are the member countries. Out of these member countries, in the recently NSA level meeting that was held, India participated, Sri Lanka participated, Mauritius participated, but it did not participate, okay. Maldives did not participate. Why Maldives did not participate? Because of many issues, internal things, okay. So now let us discuss about Maldives, okay. Let us discuss about Maldives. To understand this, let us quickly draw the map of India. Okay, this is map of India. This is where we have, let's say this is India, this is Sri Lanka, and here we have an island nation, This island nation is known as Maldives. Recently, there was a presidential election in Maldives, right? When we talk about Maldives, in Maldives, there was a presidential election. And the recently elected president of Maldives, he has an anti-India stand, okay? He has an anti-India stand. So he came to power with a promise that we are going to send back all troops from Maldives, right? All Indian troops from Maldives. So this president adopts a pro-China policy, okay? He adopts a pro-China policy. This is also important. Now here we need to understand that this Colombo Security Conclave, in this Colombo Security Conclave, all these member countries that are part of it, all these member countries are democratic countries. What? They are democratic countries. Means they have a democratic structure. They have democracy. India is a democracy. Sri Lanka is a democracy. Maldives is a democracy. Mauritius is a democracy. But recent tilt of Maldives towards pro-China. Maldives is a democracy. They had held a presidential election. And before that also they have had multiple presidential election. But the thing is, what has happened in Maldives, basically in Maldives, what has happened? Like, this president, upcoming president, he has adopted pro-China policy, and China is not a democracy. Here, now it comes to India, right? It comes to India to bring back all these member countries on the same platform, so that they should understand what is the importance of this, this Colombo Security Conclave. Now, having understood this, let us understand what are the vision of Colombo Security Conclave. Okay, we are going to discuss about vision of Colombo Security Conclave. Means why this grouping is important, right? Why this grouping is important. To understand this why thing, we need to understand that Colombo Security Conclave focuses on Sagar vision. Okay, it focuses on Sagar vision. What is this Sagar vision? Sagar vision says security and growth for all in the region. Okay, security of growth for all in the region. Okay, this is Sagar vision. Apart from this, here we talk about maritime security. Okay, this is for maritime security. Apart from this, if you talk about Colombo Security Conclave, they have a kind of, let's say, anti-terrorist structure also. So they want to let's say focus on piracy related things. They want to focus on, let's say, weeding out any other challenges in the region. So in this article, basically they have discussed that what India should do. So now what has happened in the last decade, the responsibility of India in this region has enormously grown, right? Responsibility has increased. And also not only responsibility, India, in this thing, India's ambitions has increased, responsibilities has increased, and also threats have increased significantly in the last decade. So this Colombo Security Conclave will remain an important instrument to help it consolidate its regional leadership. All the members of the Colombo Security Conclave, which are democracies, will continue to play their cards based on domestic and external benefits. So what is happening? These member countries that are there, so they are playing their role in the Colombo Security Conclave based on their domestic, let's say, policies, the way that we have seen in case of Maldives. So the president came into, let's say, power by promising its voters that it is going to sever its relations with India. So that's why the president of Maldives from Maldives, the National Security Advisor of Maldives did not participate in the meeting. Now we have another topic. It says unpacking the first ever COP Health Day, right? So this article is important. We are going to discuss about this topic. This is topic number 4. Unpacking the first ever unpacking the first ever COP Health Day. So here we need to understand that this particular topic, okay, what is the context of this topic? Context is related to Conference of Parties. So recently a Conference of Party 28, right, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change has happened in Dubai, right? It has happened in Dubai, which is located in United Arab Emirates. So this has happened. So here we have talked about environmental challenge, right? We have talked about environmental challenge related to multiple aspects. One of the two important aspects is global warming, right? Global warming is one important challenge that we are facing. Other is pollution. Other is pollution. So when we talk about global warming and pollution, what they do, they affect the life forms also, okay? What they do, that global warming and environmental pollution, what they do, they affect the health of living species, okay? They affect the health of living species, including humans, okay? They affect the health of living species, including humans. So human health is also affected. Now in this regard, what has happened? The World Health Organization has recently announced a World Day, okay? The World Health Organization declared climate change as the greatest threat to global health in the 21st century. This is important, okay? So World Health Organization has announced that climate change, right? It has announced that climate change as the greatest threat to global health, okay? Climate change is the, I'm just writing, is the greatest threat to global health of 21st century. This is a very important proposition that the World Health Organization has made. So World Health Organization has linked health with climate change, because human health are intricately related to climate change. If we are living in a better climate, if we are living in a, let's say healthy climate, so our health will remain healthy and we'll be able to survive more. But because of climate change, because of pollution, air pollution, what happens? Our health also deteriorates. As you know, those people who are residing in Delhi, it is expected that their life expectancy will go down by about 11 years. Means if a person could, let's say live up to 80 years, but because of climate change, he will live up to 69 years only. Means his health, longevity gets affected. So climate change is the biggest threat of the 21st century. This is rightly mentioned by the World Health Organization. So this is a very important proposition of the World Health Organization. Now in the Conference of Parties, they have come out with some of the, let's say, initiatives. They have come out with very important thing. What they have come out with? So we are going to discuss that thing. They have come out with Dubai Consensus. They have, let's say, operationalized the loss and damage fund. And not only this, they have, let's say, come out with a kind of other initiative that tries to reduce the methane, right? So they have come out with very such important initiatives. So finally, through this article, author says, integrating health into climate planning is not only economically prudent, but also vital for overall effectiveness and sustainability of the climate actions in India. Okay, so we need to integrate health into the climate planning. Okay, whenever we are planning for climate, we need to integrate health also, so that we can address the issues effectively. Now we have another topic. We are going to be quick on this topic because we have discussed this topic many a times in the past also. So it says India's revised criminal law proposals. Okay, India's revised criminal law proposals. However, I'm going to write it once again so that you may remember this topic well. Okay, topic number 5. So if more number of articles come on similar issues, it makes your understanding deeper because you tend to understand those topics from different perspectives. So this article says India's revised criminal law proposals. India's revised criminal law proposals. So here we need to understand what are criminal laws. Okay, what are criminal laws that are in existence presently. Okay, let's discuss about criminal laws. So which criminal laws are in existence now? So in India we have presently 3 criminal laws. Number 1 is known as Indian Penal Code, which is functional, 1860. Then we have Indian Evidence Act, 1872. Then we have third, the Criminal Code of Criminal Procedure. Okay, I'm just writing the Code of Criminal Procedure. In short, it is known as CRPC. Okay, it is known as CRPC. I think 1898. You need to check the year, right? So check this year once again. Now with this, these criminal laws are already in existence, but the government of India has proposed new laws. Okay, government of India has proposed new criminal laws. What new criminal laws has been proposed by the government? We are going to discuss about it. So why we need a new criminal law? Because they say that these are British era legislations. What? They are British era criminal laws or British era legislations. And we have been, let's say, working on British era legislation so far. We have done some amendments also in this to meet the current scenario. However, we want to totally decolonize our criminal justice system in the country. For that, we have, let's say, the government of India has introduced 3 new bills. Okay, so the first version of these 3 bills, I mean, like, they have introduced 3 new criminal laws. Okay, we are going to discuss about that. Number 1, it is known as Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Okay, number 1 is known as Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Okay, in short, BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023. So this is a bill that was initially, let's say, like proposed by the present government. Then they have introduced another which is known as Bharatiya Sakshya. Okay, in short, BS 2023. Then they have introduced another which is known as Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita. Okay, this is Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita. Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, BNSS 2023. So the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita that they have introduced, they wanted to replace the Indian Penal Code, right, through this. And Bharatiya Sakshya, they want to replace the Indian Evidence Act. Okay, I'm just writing IEA, Indian Evidence Act. And through this Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, they wanted to replace the CRPC, Code of Criminal Procedure, right? But the thing is, the initial 3 bills that were proposed by the government, these bills have come through a lot of criticism because of inconsistencies in those bills. There were many defaults, there were many faults in those bills, including grammatical mistakes, right? So those bills have been sent to Parliamentary Standing Committee. Parliamentary Standing Committee has done a thorough check on those bills and they have suggested some changes. And now what the central government has done, they have come up with the second version of all these three bills. And the second version of all these three bills have been passed through the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, right? They have been passed through the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, and these bills will soon become act. If it becomes act, so the thing is, these bills are going to replace the Indian Penal Code, they are going to replace the Indian Evidence Act and the Criminal Procedure Code. After this, we will be having a new set of, let's say, criminal laws in India. So they have not only changed the names of these bills, like, these names are in Hindi, or we can say in Sanskrit, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Sakshya, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita and all. So they are not only going to change the names of these bills, they have also changed the sections, they have changed the content in many places. However, they have largely kept the content as before, but they have done some few new, let's say, additions to those bills. In this article, they have mentioned about those bills. What they have done, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which is going to replace the Indian Penal Code, it incorporates UAPA definition of terrorist act and defines cruelty against women while enhancing punishment for mob lynching. Okay, so this Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, what new things it has proposed, I'm going to just write down those new things for you. Like it has, number one, what it has done, it has included Unlawful Activities Prevention Act related definition of terrorism. Okay, it has included definition of terrorism. Apart from this, second thing it has done is, let's say, it has increased the punishment for mob lynching. Okay, number third thing that it has done, right, it has increased the punishment for mob lynching also. Number third that it has done is, let's say, like, related to women, right, like crimes against women. For these things, punishments have been increased. Okay, punishment has been increased. This is the thing. Now, if we talk about this Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, a very important thing that they have done is they have included community service. Okay, they have included community service as a form of punishment. Now let us understand this. What do we mean by community service as a form of punishment? So for example, if a person tries to commit suicide, earlier committing suicide was a kind of criminal offense. I mean, like, that person who tried to commit suicide, he was considered to have done some criminal offense, so he could be put behind the bars. But like, this was challenged also. Why? Because the person who was committing suicide, he is already traumatized, right? So the thing is, if you give him further punishment, he will get further traumatized. So that's why it was decriminalized. But now a person who has committed suicide, he will be asked to do some kind of community service, right? So that will be considered to be like, serving the punishment thing. And not only this, there are other things as well. For example, here they have mentioned work which the court may order a convicted person to perform as a form of punishment that benefits the community, for which there should not be any kind of remuneration. Okay, community service means, for example, if a person, right, if a servant, right, if a public servant unlawfully engages in trade, theft of property less than 5,000 rupees, public intoxication and defamation, means like if a person has done some petty offenses for which, let's say, courts may ask that person to do community service. So doing that community service will absolve his, let's say, like, the kind of punishment. So it is introduced as a form of punishment. And apart from this, the Bharatiya Sakshya revises the admissibility of electronic evidence. The Bharatiya Sakshya, which is going to replace the Indian Evidence Act, so it has revised the admissibility of electronic evidence, right? So this is the thing. So these three bills are important. With this, we came to another important thing, which is says why ransomware attacks on Indian IT firms are cause of concern. So now let us understand about what are ransomwares. Okay, this article is important. Let's understand about ransomware. What are ransomware? Ransomware is a kind of malicious software. Okay, it is important for us to understand. It is a malicious software. This software has been designed to control your computer. It may, let's say, like, put some code in your computer that can encrypt the information, right, in the computer, or computer may be completely locked, and then the threat actors generally leave some messages for you, right? They leave some messages that, like, if you want to get back control of your data, you need to pay us this amount of money. And how you can pay this amount of money, they also share those information. For example, they may ask the money to be paid through cryptocurrency, which cannot be tracked by law enforcement agencies, like that. So what has happened recently in Indian IT companies, there have been multiple attacks. So one of the IT company, which is HCL, its cloud systems have been hacked by the people, right? And they have been asked to provide a ransom, and many, let's say around 76% of the IT companies have seen threats or attacks, and in many cases these private IT companies have paid the ransom to get control of their data. But those companies that feel that the data that have been hacked, they are not of that important, or they have a backup, in that case they may not pay the ransom also. But ransomware threats are a kind of cyber security threat. So related to cyber security threat, what has happened in India, there is a grouping also. Name of that grouping is known as Indian Computer and Emergency Response Team. It has said that a 51% increase in ransomware incident was reported in 2022, with a majority of these attacks targeting data centers, ITs and TES sectors in the country. Okay, so this is the thing. So ransomware means they attack your system, they lock or encrypt the data, and they ask for ransom, they ask for money. Okay, that is known as ransomware. Okay, so Indian IT companies are on a thing. So recently this Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, okay, CERT in, okay, CERT in. So basically it has said that there was a 51% increase, right, in ransomware attacks in India, in ransomware attacks in India. Okay, there has been 51% increase in ransomware attacks in India. So that's also a very important cause of concern. So which companies were which sectors or industries were attacked? Number one, HCL Technologies, and an overseas let's say subsidiary of Infosys, that was also under attack. Then recently All India Institute of Medical Sciences, it was under attack, and there were many other things, let's say who have been attacked by ransomware. Okay, who have been attacked by ransomware. However, in this article they have not mentioned about any name of ransomware. Earlier there was a ransomware that was in news, it is known as WannaCry. Okay, WannaCry was a kind of ransomware. So why ransomware attacks on Indian firms are a cause of concern? So I'm just writing this. Why a ransomware attack on Indian IT firms, on Indian IT firms are a cause of concern. This topic is good. Through this topic you understand about some terminologies related to ransomware, you understand about, let's say, some recent happenings related to ransomware. So with this we are going to now come to a section which is, let's say, important topics for the prelims or PT pointers. We are going to discuss about those topics one by one. Now, we have discussed about the mapping of Guyana, right? So, there were in South America. So, this particular topic is related to South America, right? It is related to South America. And in South America, there are 12 countries. Out of those 12 countries, 2 countries are in, let's say, are in conflict with one another. One is known as Guyana and second country is known as Venezuela. Okay, Guyana and Venezuela. In Guyana, there is a territory which is known as Essequibo. Okay, it is known as Essequibo. So Essequibo is a oil-rich region. So this entire Guyana was a British colony long back. Okay, so it was being ruled by Britishers, and before it was British colony, it was part of Venezuela. Now what has happened means recently in Guyana, the Essequibo region was identified, which is a very much oil-rich region, which has the potential of, let's say, increasing the economic strength of Guyana. Since it has the potential of increasing the economic strength of Guyana, now what Venezuela says, Venezuela wants to take back control of the Essequibo region, which is almost 3/4 of the total territory of Guyana. Now, Guyana says that we are now a sovereign country. We cannot give access to Essequibo to any other foreign country like Venezuela. This has resulted in a kind of dispute. They have approached the, let's say, International Criminal Court. Also, International Criminal Court has thought of giving justice. But the thing is, like, Guyana has said that International Criminal Court does not have, let's say, its jurisdiction over it. But International Criminal Court has said it indeed has a jurisdiction. So that was a kind of international dispute that was tried to be solved, but it was not solved. And since it was earlier a part of United Kingdom, now the, let's say, like, one of the envoy of Guyana has approached United Kingdom for help, and the United Kingdom is going to send naval ship to Guyana amid Venezuela border dispute. Okay, so it's going to have a dispute. So United Kingdom is going to send what? Naval fleet to Guyana to let's say safeguard Guyana from Venezuela. But recently there was in news that, like, the president of Venezuela and president of Guyana, they have recently sat together. They have discussed to settle the dispute among them amicably, so that the dispute can be settled without any armed conflict between them, without any escalation, further escalation. So this thing has been in news. Okay, so like Guyana, Venezuela. So where is Guyana and Venezuela located? So if I talk about South America, if I draw a short map of South America, okay, so this is where this, let's say, Guyana is located. Just to the left of Guyana, let's say here, over here, we have Venezuela. This is just a rough map. Okay, this is just a rough map. So they share borders with one another. This is the thing. So with this, let us now move to another short topic. It says Iran's Navy adds sophisticated cruise missile to its armory. Okay, Iran is a country which is in dispute with, let's say, like, United States of America. Although it's not in a state of war with USA, but USA considers Iran to be its adversary, and Iran has been strengthening its military capabilities. Recently, Iran has, let's say, developed cruise missiles. So if we talk about missile systems or missile technologies, missiles can be broadly categorized into 2 groups: ballistic missiles, cruise missiles. And then on the basis of range, there can be short range missiles, medium range missiles, long range missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles and all. So what is the difference between ballistic missiles and cruise missiles? Ballistic missiles generally are, let's say, like, once it is launched, so it is kind of launch and forget. Means like you target somewhere, you launch according to the target, and it will finally go and fall there. That's the thing. But it will not be molding its direction during the path. However, if we talk about cruise missiles once launched, you can, let's say, like, navigate its path also. Means like you can mold, or you can have, let's say, control over its trajectory after being launched. That is cruise missiles. Cruise missiles are considered to be much, let's say, damaging as compared to ballistic missiles. Okay, because, like, they are able to intercept the target well. Okay, this is the thing. So with this, let us now quickly move to another topic. Iran summons Russian envoy over a statement on disputed Gulf islands. So in the Gulf region, the region that we have seen in the beginning of the newspaper, which is, let's say, like, Arabian Peninsula, there we have Gulf region. There are 3 islands that are under dispute. So those 3 islands are under the control of Iran. Okay, those 3 islands are under the control of Iran. But the thing is, there are other countries that are claiming those islands. So those islands are being claimed by United Arab Emirates, and recently what Russia has done, Russia has basically signed, right? Russia has signed a treaty with Arab countries which supported peaceful solutions for the dispute over these islands. And that's why Iran has asked the envoy means the diplomat of Russia, right? Iran has summoned the diplomat to let's say question about the stand of Russia on this matter. Okay, so this was the thing. At last, we have another very short topic we are going to discuss about it. It says UN calls for rescue of 185 Rohingya adrift in Indian Ocean. So in Indian Ocean region, basically like 185 Rohingya people are those people who are from Myanmar, and these people are, let's say, undergoing some kind of persecution from the Myanmari authorities or Myanmari military forces. Why? Because Myanmar is a Buddhist majority country, and if we talk about Rohingyas, these are, let's say, minority Muslim people, like who are located in Rakhine state of Myanmar. So inside Myanmar there is a region which is known as Rakhine province. There are some people, they are known as Rohingyas, and they are Muslim people. So they are under, let's say, attack, they are under persecution by the Myanmari militaries, by the Myanmari authorities. So these people, let's say, they want to save their lives, and that's why they have fled, they have started fleeing from their own native place with their family members. But they are not being welcomed by any other countries, let's say, including India. India is not welcoming them, Bangladesh is not welcoming them. So these people, like one ship is stranded, and in that ship around 185 people are there. And out of them, majority of them are children and women. Okay, so they are stranded, and in that ship it was reported that one person has already died, and many people are on the verge of getting dying. So recently the United Nations has called for rescue of those people who are stranded in the Indian Ocean, right? So the thing is, like, there are international laws also related to humanitarian assistance or refugee, but India is not signatory to the Refugee Convention, UN Refugee Convention of 1951. It is not a signatory to it. But let us see how these people may be helped, right? How these people may be safeguarded, because it is not good that those people who are stranded in the ship in oceans, they can be left, let's say, unattended, they can be left to die. This will not be a good situation. The similar situation has happened long back. You might have heard about Komagata-Maru incident, which was in news this year also. So long back, there was a ship that had Indian people, right? It was a Japanese ship. So it was trying to enter into Canada, but Canadian authority did not allow it to harbor. Only few of the people were allowed to take entry in Canada, those people who had proper documents, but other people were, let's say, sent back, and those people were stranded. Many of those people died also. So that Komagata-Maru incident is widely, let's say, remembered as a black incident in the world history. So same thing should not happen. Let's say, world should not let similar incident happen to those people who are vulnerable. So that's all from my side for the day. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.